Hey guys, welcome back to Ultima Games. It's Taman here. I know it's been a while since our last video, but all the moving preparations are done. I can finally make videos again. Summer Games Fest just happened a few days ago, and let's just talk about games. Now there's a lot to talk about, a ton of games, so I'm going to split this video up into two parts. This is part one, and let's just get into it. The first game on our list is Lies of P. Now this is the world's next big Souls game, coming from NeoWiz Games and Round 8 Studio. This game just oozes Bloodborne vibes every time I see new gameplay of it. It takes place in a Pinocchio-style world where you play as Pinocchio and trying to save your town from some kind of evil force. Now there's a few interesting mechanics you'll want to pay attention to that you'll come across in the game, first of which is weapon durability. Now you can sharpen your weapon with that whenever out of combat to keep its effectiveness intact, and another mechanic where you have the option to either lie to the NPCs or tell the truth about what they may ask you. The exact details of this mechanic have not been revealed yet, but if this is as Souls game as it seems like it's going to be, then it'll definitely have an effect on the way you play throughout the game. Combat looks just as solid as you'd expect from any Souls title. Unique parries, weapons, and abilities that you can use to overcome any enemy, and there's even a demo out right now that you can play right now. So if you're interested in the game, give it a shot. I definitely highly recommend trying it. The next game on our list is Toxic Commando. Now this is an 80s inspired FPS that looks absolutely insane. Just constant mayhem, lots of zombies. I saw this trailer and I was loving the amount of mayhem that was shown off in it. It has Call of Duty zombie vibes, which is really good because I mean zombies, lots of guns, plenty of destruction along the way, which I feel is a must for this kind of game, since it can get kind of boring and repetitive quickly when there's not a lot of content for it. But with this title, it looks like it won't be a problem. There are even different types of zombies to face off against, and that's a good thing to see since this game might have more longevity than past zombie shooters, especially with games like Dying Light 2 disappointing us. This is definitely a welcome change to see. Now with this next entry, it's a bit interesting because I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan, but I've seen a few of the movies here and there. But with this title that was announced, it does have me curious about a few things. It's supposed to be a strategy game in which you face off against the Borg. While that does sound like a good time, I can't really say much about it since we've only seen a teaser so far. That said, we are supposed to get a full reveal on the 16th of June, which is Picard Day for fans of the series, so it should be pretty exciting to see the reveal if you're into strategy games or just a genuine Star Trek fan. Next up is the newest entry in a wonderfully long Yakuza series. Like a Dragon Gaiden is the next big game in the series that has us playing as Kazuma Kiryu once again. In the next game, you'll be playing as one of Yakuza's most iconic characters in a new city while finding new ways to bash skulls and learning new types of fighting styles. This new entry into the series is looking to be a very exciting time with the new trailer and all that it showed us. We have a lot to look forward to, and I definitely can't wait to give this a try once it releases and see where our adventure takes us in this series. It's been a while since we've seen Kiryu in a new installment of this game, and it's going to be great to play as him again. The next game on our list is Mortal Kombat, the classic fighter that has been showing us new ways to crush skulls, tearing your enemies into pieces. And can't lie, I'm pretty excited to see where NetherRealm takes us. It's a pretty fresh start for the long-running series, and I want to see where they take the story and how they'll handle each character, especially since Raiden seems to be taking the place of Liu Kang, while Liu Kang is the current god of in this version of the MK universe. It'll be interesting to see where the story goes, and we all know we should hopefully see a new crypt, some solid fighting mechanics, of course, with new features here and there. And you know, moments ago in the gameplay is always pretty solid for Mortal Kombat, so I hope to see that they really knock out of the park with this, especially story-wise, because Mortal Kombat somewhat slacks when it comes to story, but I love how much effort they always try. They always try new things, and it's great to see that, and I'm very glad they're getting a fresh reboot because it means they're going to get way more options to work with. Next up is the Prince of Persia. Now, the Prince of Persia series has been quiet for a long time now, and it's great to finally see it back in action, getting a version that fans are excited to see. From what we've seen in the trailer so far, it looks like a pretty solid platformer with a good story, and the art style. I especially love the way they did the main character design and the variety of locations that you'll be exploring in this game. The combat and cinematics also look amazing. The flashy abilities and the use of time/rewind ability means that platforming shouldn't get boring at all. The boss fights also caught my eye. I'm definitely loving the enemy variety that we've seen so far in these kind of games, and I can't lie, I'm pretty excited to play this game and try it out. Prince of Persia has been really quiet over the last few years, so we haven't had one in a while, so it's good to see it back in action again. The next game on our list we've known about for a while, and of course it's Spider-Man 2. And it's looking to be another great game from Insomniac. They usually deliver pretty quality games, especially with the Spider-Man series. Although superhero games haven't been getting good press these last few events, but when it comes to Spider-Man, we rarely have any complaints, at least I don't. We're getting a brand new story with new villains, even more Miles Morales. He'll be featured even more in the game, just as much as Peter Parker, hopefully. which is a good thing for games like this. It just kind of sucks that we won't get co-op considering how much Miles will probably play into the story. But with the way superhero games have been doing things, I kind of understand why Insomniac is just playing it safe, just sticking with a single player experience and, just really polishing this game to, to what it can be. And it's great to see. Can't wait to play it. I believe it's going to be an absolute banger anyway. Now, when I saw the new trailer for Sonic Superstars, I was really surprised because I had assumed the next Sonic title that we would see would be Frontier related and we would see some kind of gameplay, but to my surprise, we got Sonic Superstars instead. Now, this game looks like a fantastic version of classic Sonic with fresh new elements that doesn't make the game feel like it's moving away from what made Sonic so iconic and fun. Now, Frontiers was a solid title, no doubt, but 2D Sonic with modern graphics is a special kind of treat for the series. In the new game, we saw a few things like playing as different characters, introducing co-op into the mix, and the game was even showing off new ways to traverse through the level, which fit into the gameplay perfectly. The best part of the reveal is that this game is coming this fall if there aren't any kind of delays. Now, I'm very interested to see how this game performs, and I know a lot of fans are excited about this, and I cannot wait to play it and get my hands on it. The next game we saw from Summer Game Fest is one that really impressed us, and that is Pow World, and it's a pretty surprising game. Imagine a Pokemon game and a third-person shooter at the same time. It's actually interesting to watch, and I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan, but I would definitely want to try it because it looks like a game that has just been heavily modded to hell and back, but in a really good way though. There are plenty of things to do that we've seen in the trailer. There seems to be some survival aspects, some homestead building, and unique Pokemon battles alongside third-person shooting. That's right, third-person shooting, and not just with any cutesy-styled guns either. I mean guns, like the kind you would see in Call of Duty or Battlefield. When you see the trailer, it's actually pretty ambitious game, and the more you see it, the more awesome the little details, like riding on a Pokemon that has its own weapon, shooting a horde of enemy Pokemon that are coming after you. The game even has Pokemon being forced to build guns, and it's actually sad in a sense, but I can't wait to try this game once it comes out and see how it plays. It's definitely weird. It really surprised me. I don't know what to think about this game because it's just so bizarre. It's weird but fun at the same time. Definitely a change from the standard Pokemon. I can't wait to see how fans take to this game when it comes out. The Lord of the Rings always makes decent games, but this one has my attention since it looks like it offers even more ways to explore and build in Moria. There are things like survival elements, crafting to build your base, and even multiplayer alongside some fun stealth elements when hiding from enemies. This game seems like it'll have a lot for you to do once you start building and fighting off all the undead and monsters lurking in the mines. It really reminds me of Sea of Thieves, but a mining version instead of being on the sea, as a pirate. It definitely has the same charm as that game does, but we won't know for sure until it releases and we can play it for ourselves. I'm curious about this game because I'm just curious about the longevity of it more than anything, but it looks like a solid, survival game. There's been a lot of those in this event so far, which is not bad, but just interesting to see that kind of trend going on right now. Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the more interesting RPGs coming out this year, and it's based on Dungeons & Dragons, and I gotta say, I'm looking forward to trying this game out. It looks like a deep and complex RPG that is really going to test my skills when it comes to tabletop role-playing. The game has been in early access for a while now, and it has been receiving pretty good feedback from the community. The game is a top-down, turn-based RPG, which follows a lot of Dungeons & Dragons gameplay, and from what I've seen of this game so far, it looks like it does a pretty good job at it. There are interesting characters to meet, lots of unique puzzles and combat scenarios to solve and conquer, all while taking place in an interesting world and has an interesting story. We will finally get our hands on the full version of the game later this year, thanks to the new release trailer we got at Summer Game Fest. Now I'm super excited about this. I can't wait to play it. The next game on our list is easily the most surprising since it's the most unexpected, and that is Sandland. Now this game is based on a manga from the creator of Dragon Ball. This title will be published by Bandai Namco, and they're pretty known for making games based on Shonen Jump titles, which is pretty cool. The trailer for the game looked interesting. It looks like you'll be exploring ruins and the vast desert while fighting wildlife alongside robots and other bandits that live in the harsh environment. There's no release date for this game yet, but hopefully we'll see more gameplay features in the near future. I was surprised this game even got announced, but I'm curious to see what this game could do. The gameplay looks surprisingly interesting. It looks like it would be a fun time, just to mess around with in this open world. The final game on our list is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Need I say more about this absolute banger? Xbox has definitely stepped up their games list, and with a JRPG no less. I'm glad to see them branching out like they should be, and Rebirth looks like it picks up right after the events of Part 1, and we finally get to explore the outside of Midgar and see the open world in modern graphics. And with Final Fantasy 16 right around the corner, it's a great time to be a Final Fantasy fan. I don't want to say too much about this game, but it's definitely going to be something you want to check out if you're any kind of RPG fan, and you'll definitely have a good time playing through this, which is one of the most easily beloved Final Fantasies of all time. I can't wait to get my hands on it and play through this. It's definitely worth your time. Check it out. I highly recommend you at least watch the trailer for the game. And that about wraps up our video for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what your favorite games were from this list, and we have a lot more videos coming, so I hope you guys look forward to it. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.